Good morning and welcome to 52 Weeks of Scrapbooking. My name is Denise Cowell and we are on project recipe 39. Today is September 30th. Can't believe we are almost done this to think about what we're going to do next year. So let's get down to my desk and let's take a look. I got a bunch of punches out and I think some I don't need for this one. We'll move them out of the way. And I'm going to do fall again. I'm going to keep with the fall theme using um, Golden Harvest from a few years ago. So if you are looking in the book for 39, it is using Canadian scenes. If you go to my Facebook with Denise Facebook page, it's Ever After. This one's using the rose punch. This one's using the canoe. These are both border makers. So I have a bunch out. I have the leaves that we used last week. I might use that. Sunflowers. Then I have like pumpkins and apples. Don't know kind of yet what I want to do. But let's take a look. First of all, let's make sure that we don't see any differences in the project recipe and everything looks the same. I had one more that I brought out, the climbing vine. I can never remember the names. I don't have them all labeled. I have my big punches labeled, but not my border makers. But if you go to the virtual crop and go under files, somebody always posts a couple files that will have the standalone punches, the border makers. So if you don't remember the names, you can always go look them up. So let's see. And actually now I'm thinking maybe I might go with that one, but let's see what we're going to do here. So for my paper, and I'm going to use the printout only because it fits on my desk better. I'm going to use this denim, and again, this is from the Golden Harvest. Then I have this orange with the leaves, which is what I thought I was going to use the leaf print, but maybe it's going to be too big. And then I have a red, and you're supposed to have 2 cardstocks. I'm going to just see if I can use these papers. If not, I'm going to go get a cardstock. But you will need to use the reverse of a couple of them. Of paper number 1, you'll need to use the reverse, and that's the denim. The orange one was going to be mats and 2 of our borders. And then designer paper number 3, I'm going to use this red one. And again, I think we only use the red side for that one. Let's just compare with both of them. Designer paper number 1 is going to be 2 borders. So it's going to be this little one that's just kind of backing on there. It's going to be these 2 pieces that are at the bottom, C and D, and it's going to be 2 of the small photos here. Designer paper number 2 again is going to be 2 borders, and again we can change the borders. We don't have to put them where they say. We're just going to have 2 of each color to see where we want to put them. And then it's going to be the mats, so they're going to be I, J, K, and L, those mats. And then designer paper number 3, which is my red, is going to be where the blue is. So the 2 larger mats that will hold 6x4 photos, plus a piece by the top, and then it's going to have the border down there. So let's see what's going to happen and if this goes together and if I'm going to use this pattern paper. Sometimes, you know, using pattern paper versus cardstock all depends on how much of the designer paper you still have left. Are you hoarding it? You know, do you want to use cardstock? Up to you. Okay, I'm just trying to get these a little straighter on my desk. And let's get out the border maker and the housing and the punch I think I'm going to use. So for every paper we're going to use 2, so we can just do that and then bring out our trimmer. So every paper we're going to cut 2 borders. So we'll start with the denim. I'm going to want my piece like this across the bottom. So when I cut it, I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to want to do these this way also. The top of my paper because I still need to have a 12-inch piece. So this will be right. Okay, so we're going to cut 2 from every design. Now, if you were using non-directional paper, it would be easier. Okay, so there's one of my borders. And we'll cut the second border. I'm already looking ahead at my orange paper. If we look at here, These are going to be mats, and it doesn't make a difference. Is this paper directional? And it might have. You see the maple leaf flowers. And how are those I and J? I and J are going up this way. So it wants me to cut on the 12-inch there also. So I think this one I am also going to rotate, and this is going to be my top edge. So this is the top of my paper that I'm putting in. And I'm going to cut 2 of these colors and then 2 of the red. And even when it gets to being the mats, these are mats, it's not going to be that much of a direction that you can see. One more of these. We're just going to have to pay attention to the direction of our paper when we get it to cut on the trimmer, making sure we have the 12-inch side and we're not cutting our borders too small. And the red one, we're going to do the same thing. This one, trying to see which, because this again is only going to be the 2 big mats. Where do I want? Maybe I'll cut it this way. It doesn't really make a difference on this one. Let's cut 2 red borders. And let's see if this will all go together like I think it will. And one more. And then we'll have all of our borders cut, and we won't have to keep bringing in our border maker. Okay, well, let's put these back in the order that we're going to cut them. Put my border maker away, might as well just put it away. I have more room on my desk. And then let's go back to the denim and bring out our 12-inch trimmer. So what we want to make sure though is when we put it in here that we've got the 12 inches, right? This other way is only going to be 10 inches. We want to make sure it's 12 inches. And we're going to cut this at 3 inches. I think my camera's moved because it is way too far back, but that's okay. So this is going to be 3 inches. This one's going to be 3 inches. Now one of them says the reverse. So you can see here, because that's these two, they've kind of used a flower one down there. So we don't have to use reverse. We can figure out when we get them which side we actually want up. And then we have 3.5. These are going to be a couple mats. So this is 3.5 by 4.5. Oh, we don't need the arm. This is a little extra piece. This will be 4.5. Be some mats. And another mat. Oops, good thing I checked. 4.5. Okay, and then this will be extra. The orange, again, make sure that we have it the 12 inches. We're gonna go 4.5 by 6. So a little bit bigger. And these two are going to be 4.5 by 4.5 mats. That will hold 4 by 4 photos. That's extra. Rotate this, cut it at 4.5. So this is K and L. This one is extra. Onto our red. So we've cut our borders. Now we need O and P, which are 1 inch. I always just cut those on the right hand side. Make sure again you're your 12 inch. We've got 1 inch and 1 inch. Actually, that one ended up being a little bit less than 1 inch. I was going a little bit too fast. You know what? We have extra left over. Let me cut this at 6.5. No, let me cut another 1 inch one properly. pieces. This one's probably more than 1/8 of an inch, and I still have enough room. So let's cut another 1-inch one. Since they're going to go side by side on across the page, then I'm going to cut at 6.5. So I still have a little piece left, and rotate it and go 4.5 by 4.5. So there's a lot of mats, and that's most of our design is the mats. So I'm gonna get that designer paper that I thought maybe I would use for the base page instead of cardstock. Don't know if it's gonna just be too much or not, but let's see. So we've got our designer paper. So A and B. I'm not going to put A and B yet because those are up at the top. I'm going to put the bottom ones, C and D. So C and D go down here. Maybe. C and D go at the bottom. And then above those goes M and N, which comes out of the red. So those are going to be the red leaves, and let's just put them there. We might change our mind later and change it up, but let's put those ones down there. They are showing that they are underneath, that they go underneath here. That's a good thing we haven't attached it yet. So they show that they go underneath. This bottom one here, or on here, this one doesn't have anything. It's all this red plaid. But if you look at this one, there's this little pink at the bottom. That's a sticker, right? It's not something that we cut. It's a sticker. Okay, so let's see what the top is. The top is O and P, which are these two pieces, which is why when I cut one too short, I figured I would do it again. Okay, then comes our double mat. And what they have is underneath would be the blue one, because that's A, right? A was my denim. A with this orange one over top. And layered like that, or actually they have it layered this way. And for me, I might I'll just see. I'll put these over here because maybe I want to do it this way. I'm changing the direction of this this vine part. So that'll go at the top. This is going to come up. And I'm going to attach some of these before I log or end the video, just so that we can see and how to attach them once I figure out how I want them. And then what will happen, it'll just be our mats. So E and F are these two, and you can use the reverse or you can use that part. Those are our first two. Then we have I and J. I, J, K, and L, which is designer paper number 2, which is my orange. So that would be K and L go here. K and L. And I and J. And then these other two ones go here. Which is why when we look at the red one, no, it doesn't say to do that. I'm just trying to look here. Oh, they do have, if you look here, I'm just trying to see, this mat does match the color of that border underneath. And you don't really even see very much of it at all. Very little do you see of that. Just a little bit peeking through. So I just have to decide how I want to attach these. Do I want the shadow underneath like that? Or do I want the shadow underneath like this, where it's at kind of at the top? Something to decide on. How I would attach those is and I'll attach one of them, is use my silicone mat. Let's get the red on here. And actually, I do like the background, that color instead of a cardstock. Some of these looked a little too stark. Maybe my other option was, instead of a colored, is to build it on white cardstock, because I don't know, something didn't pop to me. But let me just build this on just a white cardstock. We'll see. So actually then I'm not really going to attach anything to the page yet until I decide on that. You can let me know what your thoughts are. So we have that red at the top. And then this one's going to go at the bottom. Let me just put a tiny bit of repo on these, because I'm, oops, not in that. Oh yeah, that'll work. Because the repo will pull the color off of some of these, but I just don't know how I want it overlapping yet. I want to sit and look at it for a little bit. But you can see how I'm overlapping with the repo, get them down. So now I can deal with this as one piece and attach it here as one piece. But you can see my difference here is that I have it at the top, and this way I would have it at the, sorry, at the bottom versus at the top. And I don't know yet. I need to kind of have a look at it. So let's put this back and have a look at it versus the white paper versus that colored one. And then I want to get out some embellishments. We'll look at the embellishments that they put on the project recipes. I'm just sad that you don't see a lot of this, because it looks really nice, and then you don't even see very much of it. I'll think about that too. Let's put our mats back. The red one goes here, orange one goes there. So what they have for embellishments is, here you can see they have a lace embellishment here. Here they just have some big ones, because there is a lot of space left in here, right? So what came with Golden Harvest when we looked at it last time, it just keeps going crooked, is these really nice laser cut embellishments that I think will go like really nice in this area. Don't know how much I have of that. I might have another one, or we could put, we could just build our own over here that comes out same as on this side. We could build our own. Oh, this one has some acorns. I might want to, maybe those go on the top, the bottom. Oh, so they can show out. Yep, that works. And then what else do I have left? I have like this green leaf I can put in here. So we can have these bigger embellishment clusters coming out the side of the paper. But I don't know, you let me know what you think. Do you like this one that has a little bit of pattern in here, or just straight on the bright white cardstock? Where else do they have in some embellishments? They have some down here. I could put a little acorn. Here they have just some words. They have a little one here and a little, so they have 4 embellishment clusters on this one, kind of in between. Oh, there's another laser one. You know, so they have one cluster down there, and then we could do another cluster over here, and those 2 bigger ones. So that is the Ever After and the Canadian Scenes collections. Hope it gave you some ideas, different things, ways that you can use it. I do like it because you can do 4x4, 4x6 pictures, have peekaboo pockets. It's very simple, but it's basically all about the mats and your photos, not a lot of other decorations. So thank you for joining me today. I'm trying to find my thing. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Happy scrapping. Bye for now.